What's going on, Field Level family? We are here. We are back. This is another one. This your man, Pat. That's your man, Quan. Where's CT at? CT got to get on, man. What's up with CT, man? Somebody tell CT to get on here, man, so we can have this good old episode of the Field Level. Hey, Quan, how you doing today, bro?
Oh, man, we doing good. Feeling blessed and highly favored. Just had some green tea, so I'm ready to go.
You had some what? You had that green tea?
Come on, man. GTG always in full effect, man.
What you talking about, bro? Come on, bro. You ain't act like you about to leave me out of this whole GTG, man. GTG, we in the building.
Let's go.
Hey, we here, man. It's another one, a great episode of the Field Level. We back for another action-packed episode.
Oh, you got to change that mug, though.
Pardon me as I drink from the Winner's Cup. You know what I'm saying? Pardon me as I drink from the Winner's Cup. Hey, man, we're excited that y'all got a chance to just be back with us once again. I'm excited, man. This is football season, man. This is football season at its finest. It's a whole bunch of craziness going on, a whole bunch of madness going on. But hey, it's football. It's football, Quan. I mean,
we love it.
What other way can you put it other than this is the time of the year when I'm at my happiest. This is the time of the year where I'm at my best. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited about everything that's been happening this season. I'm excited about, just having the season here once again, man. I think that it's been such a good time out just to kind of go through that whole process. It's kind of crazy how we've been going through, and we've been on for a minute, bro. We don't went through the draft. We done went through free agency. We done went through everything. Hey, so I don't know why. I can hear myself. That's crazy. I think CT might have to turn your volume down. Or throw some headphones in, one of the two. But yeah, bro, I think it happens. We're live. It is. I'm gonna let him get his headphones on, but we live. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we gonna have a couple little glitches here and there. You know what I'm saying? But it's good. So how do you feel like going through the process though? Let's just talk about that right quick. We went through. We started the podcast back in February, March.
Yeah, it's the beginning of this year. Yep, springtime.
It's the beginning of this year, and like going through that process of getting to we're actually in football season now. How does that make you feel? Like, how do you feel about that process?
It was a shaky process, man. We had so many things going on outside of sports that was so much. Let's call it was more important things going on,
right?
But now that things have kind of settled down just a bit, I'm just glad that we got our football back. This time, and people who love football fanatics like us, we played the game, we coach the game currently, we're students of it. Like me and you probably study film, and we have no reason really to study film. We just study film.
I'm out here studying film on stuff that don't even make sense, bro. Like I'm just out here studying. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, bro.
I just love it though. I love it because it keeps us going. It puts smiles on our faces at the end of our whole work week because we working men. So I'm just glad that we have it back, man. I'm glad that we have it back.
Nah, it is. It's definitely a great time to be back, man. Even as CT getting right, I think he might be right almost. But let's just kind of jump in tonight, and we'll kind of fill him in on his way back in. But let's get into some news. AFC West, NFC West news. I guess the biggest news of the day, or of the week, I should say, has been these injuries, man. I mean, the injury bug has hit hard, and it's hitting a way where it's just like, sheesh. You look left, you look right. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's bad. Injuries is everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I think that's kind of been something that was terrible. You had Solomon Thomas goes down with ACL.
Yep.
Still hear myself. You ain't got no earphones, bro?
Nah, it's just a long story.
Okay, well, if you can. Dang, I don't even know how to work that.
Hold
Can
on.
you turn it down a little bit?
I'll be right back. Hold on.
All right, cool. So at the end of the day, we've had some Jesus Christ. We had some crazy stuff going on, man. So Solomon Thomas goes down with ACL.
Yep.
Well, let's start from the beginning. Nick Bosa goes down with ACL.
That was the big one.
That was the big one. And if you've seen it, how it occurred, the way he was like kind of twist and turned and the way he kind of fell, you knew that, you know, this wasn't going to be a good situation just off of the strength on how it looked when it happened. You knew it wasn't going to be a good situation. Solomon Thomas then turns around. He goes down with ACL. That wasn't good. Jimmy Garoppolo goes down with a high ankle sprain. Going into the AFC West, Cortland Sutton, who had sat out the week prior, didn't even play. He comes back and now, you know, he has an ACL. So it's kind of like it's been crazy, bro. It's like, so with all these season ending injuries, it's kind of like, Jesus Christ, what's going on around here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can still hear myself. But if you can't see, just try to turn your volume down and see what happens with that. Does that work? No. Okay. Hold on one second, bro. Yeah, man. So how do you feel about those injuries that kind of came and hit us out of nowhere, bro?
You know, these season-ending injuries, man. I want to, you know, hopefully our technical difficulties get situated, because we have a guest on tonight who wants to touch on some things regarding injuries and nutrition,
right,
and maybe things of that nature. Because I want to talk like these season-ending injuries, and a lot of them are ACLs, and a lot of them are self-contact. Like Nick Bosa, he got rolled up on. So maybe that, I don't want to call that self-contact, but when you talk about Thomas, that was kind of like a no, you know, it's not like somebody hit his kneecap. You know what I mean? So
right.
I'm trying to figure out like what's all these season-ending injuries always with the ACL? So maybe it's like, is it a way that they're running? Like, is it a way that they're planning, or are their feet too pointed flat? Like, I don't know what's going on.
And it's kind of crazy, because even with a guy like Saquon Barkley, you seen him run on the sideline, and it didn't even look like, you know what I'm saying? It didn't even kind of look like that was going to be an issue. But the way he went down, he gets up and he has, you know what I'm saying? He has an ACL. Didn't really see that coming. So it's kind of like, Jesus Christ. Hey, technical difficulties have been fixed. Shout out to my guy, Christian Tyler Hill-Smith. You know what I mean? CT got tab you on right now. How you doing, bro? Hey, the Raycons, Ray J. Ray J.
Hey, he really sing it too. As soon as you turn it on, the power be like
Raycons. Yeah, I got a pair.
That's trash.
I got a pair. But yeah, no, so most definitely, man, it's been crazy to see how these injuries have compiled, and, you know, kind of where we're at with that right now. CT, you want to touch on those injuries that we're talking about now, and then we'll kind of circle Brandon in so he can kind of talk about it as well.
Yeah, for sure. It was a crazy weekend. Very, very sad and tough to watch so many people go down. You know, obviously being a resident 49er, I'm at work at the time, and my brother on this call, Pat, just keep texting Bosa's down. And then I'm like, oh, that's weak. Okay, he got carted off. And then 5 minutes later, if that, it's like they did a dropped Bosa off and did a Yui and came back and got Solly. And I was like, Solomon too? And it just kept getting worse. Like there was literally, 15 different texts in a row. And I just stopped talking. There wasn't even nothing to say no more. It was crazy.
Yeah. So I think that in itself was nuts. But CT, let's loop Brandon in over here. If you want to give him a brief introduction as we bring him on.
Yes, sir. Coach Brandon, Mr. Elite Fitness himself. Mm-hmm. Give us the address of your facility, my man.
What's going on, fellas? Real thankful to be on tonight, and
yes, sir.
Appreciate it. We're actually in San Leandro, 377 MacArthur Boulevard, San Leandro, right on the border of Oakland and San Leandro, actually. So we're right at the beginning.
Oh, man, you right around the corner, man. I'm in San Lorenzo. What's up? Can I get a workout or what?
Okay, we neighbors.
There it goes, man.
Yeah.
So, as you know, Brandon, fellow San Franciscan, 49er at heart, a lot of ties, a lot of knowledge over the years. You know, tough weekend in the NFL. Just wanted to get your take on the injuries and also hopefully some nutritional facts based on your expertise that can prevent some of these things from happening. Maybe they can take some notes.
Yeah. Man, it was devastating to watch all of that transpire in one game. I mean, it was just as a spectator, it was
Right.
overwhelming. I can only imagine what that experience was like, for coaches, strength coaches and even teammates. It was pretty. I don't want to say it was shocking because I actually feared this. I feared once the NFL came out and said, we're
No
gonna
preseason.
we're gonna expedite this process. Guys didn't, we can even go back to OTAs. Guys didn't have
Right.
OTAs, and I think people have to realize that there is almost no way you can simulate this type of movement if you're not actively doing it. And I think it's a very simple, straightforward, and direct correlation. I just really think that these guys, the game itself is tough, man. Like,
Yeah.
for you to put people out there and expect them to be able to simulate those movements, cutting, changing a direction, all in such a small time window,
Right.
it's almost inevitable. Guys are going to get hurt,
Right.
And then you can add other factors in there and say the turf at MetLife and all that. I mean, I know there was a game prior to this week, and I don't think there was, to my knowledge, wasn't injuries like that.
I think that actually was the first game at MetLife this year.
Oh, was it? Okay.
I
Okay.
want to say it was. And so I guess my question to you, and just kind of piggybacking on what you were talking about, another thing that kind of comes to mind is that when they did begin to push things back, right, and say, okay, we're not going to have OTAs, we're not going to have mini camps, we're not going to have rookie mini camps, we're going to have training camps, going to be pushed back a little bit, and then we're jumping right into the season. In the manner in which they jumped into the season, when you look at how they just came out full board, week 1, game 1, we're playing football, kind of gets me in a place where could we have snuck in maybe a preseason game or two, in the 2 weeks leading up to that first, week 1, just to kind of make sure that we wouldn't get in a place like how we are right now, where we're dealing with not only the numbers of injuries, but the magnitude of those injuries. We're not talking about guys that are going out and tweaking a hamstring or, rolling an ankle. We have guys that are popping Achilles, tearing ACLs. A high ankle sprain is nothing, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's nothing but an actual fracture up pretty high on your ankle. It's more than just a rolling of the bottom of the ankle. So we're dealing with guys that are really dealing with some severe type of injuries, and it isn't just those little small, minuscule type things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely, man. Like, the injuries are not by any stretch small. I mean,
Right.
I've torn an ACL before, and it hurts. Like, it's not fun at all. It ruins your mental psyche, So the pain, the physical pain mixed in with the mental pain of it, those two combined together it's rough,
Right.
I really do wish these guys could have had at least 1 or 2 preseason games. I really
It would have made a world of difference. It would have made a world of difference.
And I know the starters don't play as much in preseason games, but you still are giving your body, your nervous system, your ligament, everything. You're kind of introducing, whether that's 2 offensive series, 2 defensive series, or whatever. You still are allowing those reps. The more reps, to me, the better.
Absolutely.
No, that's real.
Go
ahead, Quan.
I can kind of I can't guarantee because I don't know for sure, but I can assume the no preseason that they had to vote into action with the NFLPA and all that. That was probably a veteran or mostly veteran saying that. I can't imagine draft picks, newcomers into the league, unproven, undrafted, free agents and all that. I can't see them saying, no, I don't want no preseason. No, just go ahead and throw away all my reps and then let me hopefully just make a splash play or 2 and then I can make the team. You know what I mean?
Right.
And now, and all these people getting hurt, unfortunate. A lot of them are veterans or key players who play a lot.
Exactly.
So it's almost like, I don't want to call it karma, but you know what I mean? Like, and then my question to you is, could they somehow prevent this in terms of like their training style, even if it comes down to just how they walk, how they bounce, how they work out, how they run? Is it a way that they're doing it because these ACLs are popping like nobody's business? Is there a way to prevent this?
The injury, I know with my clients and that I deal with, I always try to stress the idea that I cannot completely prevent you from getting injured. And
Right.
what I can do is I can lessen the chances. I can lessen the degree, possibly. Injuries are an unfortunate part of the game. However,
For sure.
I do believe that in this situation, it's a matter of there was lack of preparation and there was lack of activity around prevention. And to answer your question directly, the short answer is no, you can't prevent an injury 100%, but again, you can definitely decrease the chances. And I think these guys' chances were increasing.
Oh yeah.
I think
yeah, for sure.
And I if they say otherwise, I would be kind of hesitant. I just don't believe that.
Right.
It really comes down to extensive preparation, preparing the body, preparing the nervous system, and making it a habit and repetition. I don't think these guys had enough repetition prior to these games.
Good point. That's a good point.
No, it's a really, really great point, because when you think about the fact of, you're literally, I mean, you got what they did, maybe about 4 to 5 weeks of training camp, which you can't simulate a real game in training camp. I know a couple teams had scrimmages, a couple teams had some live practices, but it's a whole different monster from, I mean, even playing college ball, high school ball, you play college ball, we go from scrimmaging at practice to actual full out game. The intensity level is heightened. The levels of adrenaline are heightened. Your teammate ain't trying to take your whole head off, but dude across the line from you right now is trying to literally hurt you. You know what I mean? So it's like it's a whole different mindset, a whole different set of mannerisms that you go in to it with. So I think that those all kind of play a huge factor in the fact that, like Quan, you said something that was so key, and I thank you for even bringing that to light. The fact of the guys who are developing or getting injured in the manner of which they're getting injured are vets, are guys that are seasoned vets, are guys that are established. So now what we've ultimately did was we've taken away the opportunity to spotlight the 6th, 7th undrafted round guy who could potentially now, or has to now potentially, step into this spot where we don't even know what this guy can do in game situations.
And
because we didn't have reps. Yep. And we stole all his reps in practice, because guess what? If you're not a starter, and I mean this, if you're not a starter or that second guy coming in, your reps in practice are you getting 4 or 5 reps a day, as far as with, actually getting in and getting some real work. So now you got a guy who hasn't had reps and a guy that hasn't played in the preseason at all, because there is no preseason. And now guess what? He's being thrusted into that same environment, and I would not be surprised if he gets hurt too.
Yeah.
It's just kind of the nature of the beast. CT, did you have any more questions for Brandon? Yeah, we talked about injuries, some different prevention techniques. I want to get into the nutrition. I learned a lot from you over the years. We go way back. We family, man. So, talk me through some different nutritional benefits, some different nutritional ideas that you would recommend for athletes, that can help them and potentially give them a little bit of an edge so they can avoid some of these types of things, potentially.
Absolutely. The first thing that I think is most important with an athlete is, when you're dealing with an athlete, you have to understand the demands of the game. If you're not, as a coach, as a trainer, whatever you go by, if you don't understand the demands and the physicality that is to be imposed by those players and to be received by those players. What is expected of the body is going to be tough to prepare that athlete. With that being said, I try to individualize as much as I can. Every athlete's different. Every sport's different. The twitch fibers, all that stuff, it gets deep, man. Like, it's exciting for me, but trying to figure out exactly what an athlete needs is more to it than what meets the eye, and it involves a lot of extensive and sound engagement with that athlete. I've dealt with athletes and really just tried to make sure that I do I go by science. I factor in how much they weigh, how tall they are, how old they are, and then of course the physical activity part. In my experience, I think I was really shocked to find that a lot of these athletes were not even eating enough. Because if you think about it, let's take a training camp, for example. They're out on the field and in the facility from morning until late in the evening. And then you have some guys who do extra work and they stick around. So, maybe you'll get a lunch or whatever, and you get breakfast before you get a lunch. And then some of the younger guys, they're not as disciplined yet. They learn as they go along from the vets. And the vets are like, hey, man, take care of your body, eat, eat, eat. So I think, in my dealings, just ensuring that players have enough calories. Calorie intake is super important. I'm really huge on balancing out nutrition. I don't like to remove food groups. I like athletes to benefit from all different food groups because each food group has different things that it can offer and provide the body. You take protein, for example, where there's a lot of controversy around protein depending on who you ask. But these guys are mixing strength with explosion in the NFL. And recovery is huge. Protein is perfect for that. I call it muscle food. You get a guy who's out there going through practice, going through reps, then he has to go lift weights. Man, these guys' bodies is tore up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
To keep it real, our bodies ain't really made for that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot.
We're not supposed to get beat on like that, man.
We're not, man. And that's why they get paid the big bucks, though.
Right.
You take into account carbohydrates, and again, depending on who you ask, they may or may not say that they're essential or they're needed. I'm a big carb guy. I love carbs myself, and depending on how active that athlete is, carbohydrates are going to be a huge part of that. And then you have your fat. You have your healthy fats, which are super important for reserve fuel, brain health, heart health, joints, ligaments. So you got three different things that you're utilizing and applying to that nutrition: protein for recovery and strength, carbohydrate for energy, mood, and then you got fat. So I really think it's super important to have super flexibility, but also balance in nutrition so that these guys can reap the benefits from each food group and apply it when they're out there and performing.
Absolutely.
No, that's really great points, man. I think I'm about to go eat me some pasta right quick. And throw a little. Actually, I got some potatoes over there too, already on the stove, man. So yeah, man, definitely a lot of great content, great information right there. Brandon, appreciate you coming on and giving us all this dope content and dope information. Can you just tell the people where they can find you via all social media platforms and things like that?
Absolutely. I'm on Instagram at Mr. That's Mister Elite ELITE, just how you see on the shirt here, fitness. Okay. So that's Instagram, Mr. Elite Fitness 510. I'm on Facebook, Brandon Henderson. I'm all super passionate about just sharing knowledge and giving the public information all across the board, from nutrition to strength and recovery. So Go ahead, follow me and catch me on there. And I love to share the knowledge with anyone.
Make sure,
Dope, man.
hold on. Make sure
all right, my bad.
Make sure you follow everybody that follows you for the next 30 minutes. Because once we're done with this, I'm gonna follow you. So hopefully your page is not private because I won't be able to message you and tell you it's me. All right.
No problem.
Hey, man. Time to get it on, man. Brandon, appreciate you for hopping on, man. Appreciate you for coming, dropping all that knowledge. Salute to you, soldier.
Appreciate y'all having me.
All good, man. Hey, great information, man. Great information that Brandon was able to kick to us. But let's get into some football. Y'all ready for that? Hey, I want to just point out, shout out to Quan. Quan, I believe, was 7-0 last week in his predictions. Quan, salute.
Hey,
7-0. Easy money. You know what I'm saying? A little quick 7-0 movement. I was 6-1. Could have easily. I was 1 yard away from being 7-0. Just putting it out there.
Like that sometimes.
I was literally 1 yard away from being 7-0. But CT, what was you?
We don't even need to talk about that.
Yeah, all right, whatever. Well, CT, we gonna get you right with the predictions. Look. Just follow me. Look, we about to get you right with the predictions. Whatever we pick, you pick too. Okay.
Might happen.
Don't try to stray too far from the bone, man. You out here trying to, I know you're on your lone wolf trying to get into your own lane and all that. I ain't mad at you. But you know what I'm saying? I want to talk real quick, Quan, because I think me and you had the discussion on here. We actually had the discussion with CT, all three of us. And then we came back on that Sunday night. Me and you and Miles had the discussion. I said, if Josh Jacobs has 25 plus carries against the Saints, the Raiders will win the game. Josh Jacobs finished with 27 carries. The Raiders won the game. How did you feel about it? How did you think that game stacked up? Hey, and Miles, y'all lost. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was hoping we was gonna have a second guest on today, just so I can, grill him, so I can grill him a little bit. But it's all good. Now, again, look, man, I'm proud of the Raiders for doing what they did. They are not shy about doing what everyone thinks they're gonna do and just being able to execute. Everybody knew Jacobs was gonna get the rock. Everybody knew that Derek Carr's favorite target for the past year and going into this year was Darren Waller. And and Gruden just said, so what? Stop it. And until you stop it, then I'm not going to do nothing else. Waller is a mismatch problem for anybody. He used to play receiver at Georgia Tech, coming from that old Calvin Johnson Megatron tree where I'm just too big for everybody, but then I'm gonna move to tight end. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he played very well. I'm not going to get into every single detail that I want because it will be on here forever, but I do just want to talk about Derek Carr for a second.
Yeah.
Derek Carr, and I've said this to you guys a lot, and to our Feel of a Family on our Twitter page. Derek Carr checks a lot of boxes. Shout out to Courtney Moore, hit us in the chat. Raiders. Let's go. But Derek Carr checks all the boxes that you could want. He checks the box of he has an arm that can make all the throws. Shout out Rob Thompson as well. He checks the box of he's smart. He commands the offense. He gets everybody lined up. If you guys watched the game past CT, I know y'all probably did. You seen how much he was audible and checking into different plays, stuff like that. He commands the offense, and you could tell in a third year in Gruden's system, he seems so confident. The only box he doesn't check, and I think I'm going to check myself now going into next week, he doesn't check the box of pushing the ball down the field enough. It seems like when and correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like when he pushes it down the field, it's designed. Like Gruden calls a play and it's designed to go down the field. And if we get the right look, we get it. Other than that, he doesn't really push it like that. He doesn't extend plays. I think we're going to need that from Derek Carr going forward to really compete with somebody like the Chiefs. And hopefully that just comes with more time with his young receiving core that he's able to build that trust. What y'all think?
But I honestly don't think he needs to push the ball down the field. I think that the reason why you guys drafted and the way your team is set up, when you look at a guy like Darren Waller, who is a big target coming across the middle. I mean, Darren Waller, the Saints had no answer for Darren Waller all day. Right. Yeah. And it was on, and it wasn't on a deep ball. It was, down here, the speed out, the quick ends, the slants, the digs, and those type of routes. He was tearing them up. Henry Ruggs is a guy where I think he didn't have a lot of catches, or he had like his first catch like late in the game. Like he didn't get involved too early.
He had one catch for 4 yards. I think it was in the second quarter, right before halftime or something like that.
Right. So, but he's a guy that if you get him the ball ASAP, quick off of the line, he can get up and get out of there. So I don't think that you guys have to force a situation where you're pushing the ball downfield. But I think that's not even John Gruden's offense. It's very methodical, very bang, bang, quick hitters. And we're just marching down the field, nice and slow. Because at the end of the day, and this is just being very transparent and honest, you guys don't have that crazy defense that's just going to stop the Chiefs, right? So what you guys have to do is time of possession game is going to be your best friend. So when you're running the ball with the guys like Josh Jacobs, who's just a stud, and then quick hitters here to Darren Waller, Henry Ruggs, Hunter Renfrow, Brian Edwards showed up on Monday night a little bit. And when you got guys like that, I think you guys don't even need to stretch the field. Just bang, bang. I think that you guys shouldn't even have – maybe you guys have maybe 5 passes over 20 yards in a game. Just my opinion. Just my opinion.
Now, you know what? You're right. I think there's a lot of truth to what you say. CT, what you think? Because I'm going to add one more point, but I want you to go in and then we'll jump.
Congratulations. That's number one.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you. Definitely do. I know our text chat got a little quiet, so I know you was enjoying it. But the first thing I noticed, because I was kind of in and out of the game doing some things, Alvin Kamara was in a situation he looked like he was about to score. Arnett pops him out of the bounds. And what I'm paying attention to is the effort. With teams that are going through transitions, going through team chemistry, trying to figure things out, you don't often see that type of effort from teams that you don't really know about. You see that usually from the really good teams, the established teams, and that off the bat, even something that small, it showed me something different about this team this year. Josh Jacobs, awesome, man. I'm a big time running back guy, playing the position all my life, and watching him play is special. Hunter Renfrow, quick, make some moves. Really impressed with him.
I gotta shout, like he should play football.
Yeah, I gotta keep it real. Nelson Aguilar, man. I don't know what it is about him right now, but I see him doing some things, man. And I'm impressed with that. Edwards as well, Mr. Hand Sanitizer. I like all that. It seems like this team is starting to gel and figure some things out, and they're having fun. And I think once you get to that point, it's a good recipe for success.
No, it's a huge recipe for success, man. My bad. I apologize. Go ahead.
Last thing, because I told you I was going to go in, but this is my last thing, I promise.
Hey, I'm going to let you have your moment.
I promise. You know what? I agree with you in saying Gruden's offense is not that kind of an offense. And I actually kind of like that because it suits Derek Carr's traits. But we also had Josh Jacobs last year, and we also had Darren Waller last year. And when we played the Chiefs and maybe a few other teams, we got into a situation where we couldn't control the ball. We couldn't methodically, take 10 play, 11 play, 12 play drives. And even in saying that, we all know it's hard to continue to put 12 plus play drives continuously without having a mess up, having a penalty, which we haven't had luckily. So, and in those games where we're not able to control the ball, and like last year when the Chiefs got up on us by halftime by like more than 3 touchdowns, well, we can't do that going into the second half. We're going to need to score and score quick to get back in the game. So
but
when
you
that
guys
happens,
aren't built like that though, Quan.
No, I hear you. But what I'm saying is, I think we have the talent to do it, even though Gruden's offense may not be that.
I don't think you do.
See, now that's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I don't think you do. Only reason why, because Hunter Renfrow is not a deep threat. He's not a guy that's going to take nobody deep. Brian Edwards isn't a deep threat. He's not nobody that's going to take nobody deep. The only guy that you guys have that can actually literally take the top off of a defense is a guy like Henry Ruggs, who's a rookie, who's not someone who completely will understand the nuances of NFL defenses and NFL coverage. He's going to see a lot of stuff that he's never seen before. Though he played in the SEC, though he was at Alabama, it's a whole different monster when we start rolling safeties late and we're disguising 2 and it's actually 4. He's going to see a lot of different disguises and a lot of blitz packages that Derek Carr's under the pressure of, that he's not going to be able to launch that thing deep how he wants to. So it's kind of like we have to look and see, you guys have to work towards your strength. The Niners aren't an offense that's going to score like crazy quick. The only reason why we do is because Kyle Shanahan is able to be able to manipulate defenses to go one place, and he's coming with a lot of misdirection stuff that's happening underneath. Now we got guys like Raheem Mostert who runs like 27 miles an hour and stuff like that. But we have those guys. Josh Jacobs, and you mentioned Josh Jacobs and you had Darren Waller last year. Well, it's kind of hard to compare that. Why? Because Jacobs was a rookie. Darren Waller was coming off of a how should I say this? He was fighting demons. He was fighting demons, and I think he was finally trying to find his feet. But I think that the Josh Jacobs and the Darren Waller that you'll see this year is a total difference from even the guys that you've seen last year. I think the Raiders are going to be a decent team this year. I think you guys are going to have a decent record. I think that you guys are going to have a really decent record, and I'm happy for you all and all of Las Vegas.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate that. We appreciate that.
That was a good one. Toast to that. With that being said, I want to jump into something on tonight. I want to ask you guys a question, and even some of the people that are on watching live. The question simply was, out of all of the 2-0 teams in the league, I know we're the football podcast of the West Coast. It's the field level, the football podcast of the West Coast. But out of all of those teams, I want to see who was the biggest surprise for you all that are 2-0 right now. And if you guys would allot me the opportunity, I want to say mine first before anybody else says theirs, so I don't have to piggyback off of somebody else.
Floor is yours.
All me.
Biggest 2-0 surprise team for me, guys, is the Chicago Bears. Super, super surprised that the Chicago Bears are 2-0. Why? Because once again, I feel like Mitchell Trubisky should take the 10 off of his jersey and replace it with a WM, waste management. He's trash. So with that being said, when you have a guy, what happened? Somebody said something?
Go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna shut up and keep talking. But look, at the end of the day, he's not good. So that is definitely a surprise team for me. When you have guys like Allen Robinson, who's Allen Robinson's above average receiver, not great, but above average. David, the Montgomery kid from Iowa State that was a rookie last year, he's decent. They just don't have a great team. So to see them 2-0, I'm surprised. I thought they was gonna be 0 I thought they were going to probably go like 0-13 to start the year, but that's my surprise is the Chicago Bears.
CT, who you got?
I'll start with Las Vegas, the Raiders. I didn't think they'd be 2-0. I think it potentially a 1-1 if they were able to pull the Carolina game off, which they did in showing fashion. So that's number one. I would say the Cardinals, they came off the gates hot. That's another team right there. Their offense is potent. It's going to be a problem. The biggest surprise for me is the Rams. I didn't see them coming out the gates playing the way they have and really, becoming a potential threat in this NFC West that's, very mixed up right now. So the Rams are my number one as far as shocking team to go to.
We're gonna see how they built this week for sure.
Yeah.
we for sure gonna see how they built this week. Quan, what you got, bro? Surprise 2-0 team this year, man.
It's the same two teams that CT just mentioned. I really didn't think the Cardinals would start off 2-0 just because I didn't think that DeAndre Hopkins was going to make that much of an impact. I knew he was going to get his. I know he was going to get his catches. I'm not. We all knew that was going to happen, but I didn't think his. I feel like maybe his energy is bringing something different to that team. I feel like how sometimes, I know. For sure, Pat will be able to relate to this because when he came to for those that don't know, me and Pat went to Jefferson High School, but he didn't start at Jefferson. He
Archbishop Reardon High School.
Archbishop Reardon in Frisco. When he came over, when he told me he was transferring, I lit up. I'm like, oh yeah, we for sure finna do some damage for sure.
We know what's coming to town, baby.
Right. So I felt like DeAndre Hopkins doing that to the Cardinals just sparked a different life there. That maybe they feel like, hey, we have a shot to make it into the offs this year. We know the Niners is good because they just got to the bowl. We know the Rams was just in the bowl, and we know the Seahawks ain't going nowhere, but we got a shot. So that team probably is my biggest surprise, the Cardinals, man.
No, I definitely agree with that. And like I said, what was that Sunday night? For me, right now, the Cardinals is the team to beat. The way that they playing, the way that the Cardinals are playing is very reminiscent of that Chief team. Not last year's Chief team, but the team before that. Not Mahomes' rookie year, but not last year, but the year before. The Chiefs, you can kind of see them kind of becoming what they are today. Like you kind of seen them begin to start moving and getting molded into the team that they are today. And it's a scary sight. And out of the entire NFL, I said this on Sunday night, the NFC West is 7-1.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
And the one loss came from an NFC West team. So it's like, it isn't like that NFC West is sick, bro. I don't know. I don't even know if it's possible. Well, it is possible. It could be possible. But the NFC West might have 3 teams in the playoffs.
It's definitely possible now.
Yeah, it's like I can honestly see 3 teams from the NFC West being in the playoffs. And guess what? I don't know what 3 teams that would be.
Hey, it's very possible now because remember they opened up the playoffs. Now 7 teams from each conference can get in.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. So it's I'm loving it. I'm loving what I'm seeing. I think that these teams are starting off really, really well. I'm excited about everything that's happening in the AFC and NFC West. I think you got some really good stuff happening. With that being said, as we transition over, y'all know we did this segment last week, and I want to kind of set it off today with Quan. We're gonna have you set this off. What are your week 2 surprises and letdowns? Who surprised you? Who showed you something crazy, and then who kind of just let you down? Like, oh, are you serious? I'm gonna start off with you, Quan.
Okay. Here we go, y'all. So my surprises this week: safety for the Denver Broncos, Justin Simmons. I'm not surprised so much in that he's good. I'm just surprised at how he's still not getting recognized on a larger scale. I know he doesn't play in a big market area, but the kid is a baller, man. Coming out of Boston College years ago, and once he took over the starting role, he's just been a baller. He's productive, and he flashes consistently. He's really good in coverage. He almost is like, I don't want to call him a poor man's nothing because I think he's really good, but he reminds me a lot of Derwin James, and I don't want to say as in the physicality, because Derwin James almost plays like a linebacker who can cover. But Justin Simmons is playing that deep safety who can cover. He's also coming in the box guarding your tight ends. He's guarding running backs coming out of the backfield, and he's always involved with the plays. Just I know you guys know Juju Smith-Schuster for the Steelers is one of the most physical receivers probably in the game. There was a play in the game where they played against the Steelers, and Justin Simmons got a pick. And he fought Juju Smith for the ball. And then Juju, instead of tackling him after the pick, he was crying to the ref.
Right.
So I really like Justin Simmons, man. He's my surprise. And then my letdown. Oh, my bad. My other surprise is the Chargers defensive line. The Chargers defensive line. I'm surprised because as a unit, I know Bosa's good.
Ingram, Bosa.
But other than that, who else? No one mentions anybody on the middle. Do you guys remember their first round pick, Jerry Tillery, of a couple years ago?
Notre Dame, of course. Come on, baby. I do my research, bro.
Hey, my God, bro is killing. Bro is killing. They had over 17 pressures against the Chiefs last week.
Yeah, wow. And he popped on. He popped on film. He did pop. Every time I was watching, I seen that Tillery jersey just kind of rolling by.
And that's why the Chiefs struggled last week, or Mahomes just couldn't really. He didn't seem comfortable until the fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying?
Can I touch on that real quick? Yeah, I want to just touch on that point. Yeah. We were talking the other day, and we talked about how Patrick Mahomes is saying that he's just now learning defenses, right? He's just now kind of learning how to operate in the defense.
Right.
I would combat that and just kind of going in and seeing the last few games. Granted, he's had some really good games. We're not talking about him messing up and doing bad. I think last week he kind of was shaky starting off and then kind of found his rhythm late. But I kind of feel like defense is starting to learn Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
They're going to catch up. And when they do catch up, you know, I'm interested to see how special he's going to look. But go ahead with your letdowns. I'm sorry. Or your
the only thing that won't be able to catch up is in the fourth quarter when he did that scramble and threw that ball on a rope to Tyreek for that tug on a rope while running. They can't catch up to that.
I don't want to talk about that.
Oh, my bad. And then my letdown. Seattle Seahawks defense as a whole. Yes, we can point to Adams, who's all over the place. We can point to Wagner being solid as usual. But as a whole, these first two games, they gave up 25. They gave up 25 points to the Falcons, and they gave up 30 last week to the Patriots. And 30 to the Patriots to me is more shocking because the Patriots have a new quarterback in Cam Newton coming off of a lot of injuries, and also he was signed to the Patriots very, very late.
Very late.
So for them to give up 30 points with probably some sort of, maybe I would assume, a condensed playbook as of right now.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right. So you would think that defense, who hasn't really changed any pieces,
right?
You would think that they will be off to a better start and at least allowing fewer points. So that's just my obviously they're 2-0, and they bend but don't break, clearly. But I just think 25 points and 30 points in the second game, that's a lot of points, man. And it doesn't get any easier because Dallas's offense is no sneeze neither, and they're about to play them. So hopefully they can get it together.
That's real. I think that I'll just jump into my letdown. Didn't really. I guess if I had to choose a surprise, I would say Jordan Reed came out. Hasn't played football in. I think they said something like it's been over a year, but I forget they said the exact number count during the broadcast. But for him to come out and just kind of be so efficient, the way he moved, hurdled that one catch, so nice on the sideline for the touchdown. Show extremely strong hands. I think that was something that was really interesting to me. Marcus May came down on him. He ran a little quick out. Marcus May was all over it, but Jordan Reed just showed strong hands, pulled the ball in, dead armed him and got in for the score. So I think that Jordan Reed was a really good surprise for me. And allowed me to be like, okay, well, let's get Kittle all the way right. We don't have to rush him back. You know what I mean? Don't rush people back because you have that luxury of having a Jordan Reed there to kind of keep the security blanket tight end there, so to speak. Also, somebody that let me down. I'm going to keep it all the way live. I don't care if he is a rookie. He came out and showed out week 1, opened up the season, going crazy, came back this week, had 30 yards. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Disappointment, man. I know you're a rookie, brother, but you're not going to come out and tease the world with that performance and then come out and then drop 38. I swear to God, I can drop 38 today in the NFL.
He ain't talking basketball, y'all. He talking 38 rush yards.
I swear to God, suit me up, put me in the backfield. I'm dropping 38 without a doubt. So Clyde Edwards-Helaire, you got to be better than that. Got to be better than that. Thank you, CT. Now it's on you.
We're going to have to talk about this whole Clyde Helaire thing. I heard what you said. I didn't crown him nothing. I said he's a decent looking player. Relax.
If you, in the words of Denny Green, if you want to crown
you always be taking my stuff to the max. It's cool. Surprises. Las Vegas defense. Stout. Very stout. And delivered when they needed to. Some big stops took place. Had Breeze under duress quite a bit. Looked a little disorganized, off schedule. And I think that had a lot to do with Paul Gunther, their defensive coordinator. And, you got to remember, he was actually a really solid defensive coordinator for Cincinnati, kind of under the radar. They had a solid defensive line for years. Defensive back play was pretty good back then. So him utilizing the youth that the Raiders now have with the roster they put together, I think you'll start seeing them blossom and become a solid defense with the pieces they have added. So that was a big surprise for me because I wasn't sure how they would respond with a high-powered offense like this. Obviously, missing Michael Thomas, but still.
No excuses.
True. Letdowns. Obviously, with all the injuries, you don't see the type of play that you want. So, for instance, the 49ers, the cornerback play, very disappointed in that. Mosley, I feel like, is playing solid, but I'm very concerned with the other side. Akello's just not – he ain't it.
Don't say his name. Don't say his name on the field level. You better not say his name on the field level. I can't. Don't say his name on the field level, CT. Akello Witherspoon, Akello trash crack spoon. He's terrible. Get him out of San Francisco. Send him to the CFL. And then when you get done there, send him to NFL Europe. And that's not even around no more. Go ahead.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm disappointed, man. We need to.
Yeah.
We did. I had to let that mellow a little bit. Yeah, I've been trying to give him a pass for a while and hoping that he would kind of figure it out, but I don't see it happening, man.
It's not.
It's just not there. We need to look elsewhere at this point, and that was the biggest letdown for me, the cornerback play. We don't need to get torched like that, especially from Braxton Barrows. I think
he got beat by Braxton Berrios. Shout out to the U. He got beat by Braxton Berrios. Shout out to the U.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, he's just not playing with confidence. And like you guys said, if he's not going to get that swagger back, it might be time to, cut your ties.
It's the NFL, Quan. You got to play with confidence. You can't be out there looking lost and looking like a little. He can't play like that. I'm gonna just say it like that. He can't play like that. So and then it don't make it no better that Dante Johnson comes in and gets beat. So we didn't have wasn't nothing gonna work. Nothing was gonna work that day. So those are the field level week 2 surprises and letdowns. So hey, it's that time. Y'all ready? Let's jump into these week 3 predictions and previews. First off, I'm gonna kick it off, or let's kick it off like this. Let's do this as we do our predictions. What we're gonna do is that I'm going to start. Once I finish, we're gonna pass it that way to Quan. Once Quan finishes, we're gonna drop it down to CT and rotate that thing again. That's how we're gonna work these week 3 predictions on today. Y'all ready to get down?
Let's do it.
Just so I'm clear, I need to agree with both of y'all, right?
If you want it's right, I'm like, bruh, what's up with my guy? You know football, CT. What is the problem? You think somebody better than what they really are? That's the issue. Let's start off 49ers versus the Giants. Both teams lost huge last week, losing Saquon Barkley, losing Nick Bosa. That's going to hurt both teams extremely. But too much talent on the Niners for the Giants to pull it out. So I'm going Niners over Giants.
This is my upset pick of the week. There's some, with all the injuries you guys have, there are a lot of very intriguing matchups. 49ers receivers, Giants DBs. They have James Bradbury, the free agent from Carolina, and they have Logan Ryan. And they got Peppers as a safety who will drop down. And he can't cover Jordan Reed one-on-one, but I'm just saying he's an athletic safety.
You know who else they got playing as corner over there?
Who?
Darnay Holmes.
Yeah. He didn't have a good game against our bro, but
put him out there, please. Just please.
But I'm just saying there are some intriguing matchups.
Barbecue chicken.
This is my upset pick. Go ahead, CT.
Upset pick. Giants over the Niners. All right, got you, Quan. Giants over the Niners for Quan.
Upset. Should I lean that way?
Ooh.
Kind of thinking for a second. Psych. I got.
Oh, okay.
Slick Nick coming in, slinging that football, man. I think he's going to give us a chance to do some things. Jerick McKinnon getting the ball. Underrated situation here with my man Hefe, Jeff Wilson Jr. getting some reps hopefully this week. Jordan Reed continuing to play well. We'll see how he does with with Nick because I know Nick is more play action based, so the run game is going to have to start off strong. But the reason why I considered the upset was just because the Giants play with 12 defenders. I'm talking about that MetLife turf, baby. It's an issue. So I'm still sticking with my Niners though.
Is Nick starting? Is Nick starting?
Nick is starting.
Yes,
as of right now. Slick Nick is starting.
Wow. Okay.
So hey, you know Slick Nick. Raiders know Slick Nick for sure. You know what I'm saying? Raiders definitely know how Slick Nick get down.
Hey, look.
Don't act like you don't know about that. Hey, Raider Nation, just win, baby. Just win, baby.
Hey, man,
y'all know what's up with Slick Nick.
Hey, man, we talking in the present. We 2-0 right now.
I ain't mad at it, man. Slick Nick is going to be out there. And I want to point out to your point, CT, I actually think Jeff Wilson will actually be the starter. I think that they're not ready to give Jerick McKinnon a full-time reps. So I definitely think that Jeff Wilson is going to be the starter. And I'm okay with it. Next game up, I'm going to go over. Let's go to Bosstown. Let's go over to Bosstown. Hey, Raiders against the New England Patriots. I'm gonna go Patriots. I think I like a lot of what the Raiders are doing. I think the Raiders are playing good football, but going up there to Kraft Country, I love what Cam is doing right now. Cam is having a heck of a comeback season, and he's playing really, really good football. And they played the Seahawks to the wire. Was down like literally a yard away from winning that game. And I just feel like they'll make the right adjustments. Bill Belichick is a hell of a coach, might be the greatest of all time behind Bill Walsh. But yeah, I'm gonna go Patriots over Raiders.
I'm trying not to be a homer and pick the Raiders in every single game this on this podcast here. So this is a game that I could see us losing. I want to pick the Raiders, but I'm going to just go Patriots, man. Derek Carr is going to have to prove to Raider Nation that he can win a cold weather game. And when he does that, then we'll be fine. But I'm going to just pick Patriots. I'm not going to get into details because I really want my Raiders to win, but I'm going to say we can lose this game for sure.
Got it. CC on you, baby.
When we're driving on the freeway, is this where I exit? I think I'm going with the Raiders this week, baby.
Ooh, okay.
If they can go off that momentum from this past Monday, come in hot, I think they got a shot.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. I'm definitely not mad at that. So we got Quan and Pat going with the good old Pats. Good old Pat's going with the Pats. And then CT is the Lone Raider. Next up, Rams Bills. I think that this is the week the Rams get brought down to reality. I think that this is the week the Rams run into a juggernaut in Buffalo. It sounds even funny kind of saying it, right? The juggernaut that is Buffalo. But that team is stacked. I think they have a very underrated defense. Josh Allen is so good. Like, he's just so good. And it's kind of like it's hard to even make it, like, he doesn't even really have a comp, right? Like, who's comparable to what Josh Allen does? I'm gonna start calling Josh Allen white chocolate straight up, because the way dude pulled down and run with the ball is so impressive. On top of having, I want to see him and Patrick Mahomes have a throw off as far as who can throw the ball furthest, because he has a rocket tied to his arm. And then you got the, Stephon Diggs and Cole Beasley and John Brown. Those guys are going to be Mr. Reliable and going to get you the yardage that you need. You got Knox at tight end. They got a really good team up there. And I'm worried about the Rams defense against the Bills offense. And then I'm also worried about the Rams offense against the Bills defense, because the Rams have a non-existent running game. So now the Bills can literally just drop coverage and rush. And that's where they're at their best. Tre'Davious White, Tre'Davious White is probably the most underrated corner in the league to me personally. He's a hell of a corner. So I'm interested to see what happens, but I got the Bills over the Rams.
You wouldn't even know if the Bills had a good defense, because they let me down in fantasy last week, giving up all them points to Fitzmagic. You know what I'm saying? But I'll stick with my brain over the heart, man. I think I'm gonna go with the Bills as well. the Rams need a running game for Jared Goff to be at his best, because he is one of the best quarterbacks these last few years off of play action. Well, we don't know who their running backs is. It's all by committee, but now one of the committees hurt. So
Right.
I do think Jalen Ramsey is going to win his battle with Stephon Diggs. So I think that might be a battle that's going to be fun to watch. But
It is.
but all in all, I'm going to go with the Bills here as well.
Are you staying on the freeway? You getting off again?
Staying on this time. Bills Mafia,
Okay.
baby.
Mafia.
You know, you gotta respect the head coach, man. He's really transformed that culture there. Made them, you know, a true winner. A team that's really ascending and young. Josh Allen, you know, shout out to Wyoming University, man. I'm actually a really big fan of Josh Allen. His athletic ability. Nobody really like him in that sense, and he's leading more so this year with an attitude, and I dig it, man. I think that this team can definitely be taken to a newer height because of him. The Rams, I want to see how this D line responds to the type of player that Josh Allen is. You know, he's going to have to throw the ball and test, which will be interesting as well. But I don't think that the Rams run game will do anything against the Bills. I think Jared Goff
He said
struggle.
anything. Ooh.
So, you know, I think the Bills got this in the bag.
No doubt, no doubt. Next game up on the docket, man. I'm gonna just make this one quick and easy. Panthers, Chargers. No Christian McCaffrey. I'm going Chargers.
Bolt up, Chargers. That's it.
Simple.
I'll go Chargers.
You gonna go Chargers? You gonna go Chargers? All right, here go Chargers. Thank you for doing that. Because if you went Panthers, I was gonna lose it. I'm gonna go next game. Let's go. It's gonna be a really good one. Cowboys, Seahawks. God dog. Here we go. I don't know. Yeah, I do. I'm going Hawks. I would have really been really confident in my Hawks pick if COVID-19 wasn't around and that 12th man was in the building. I would have been extremely confident in it. But I'm gonna go Cowboys. Switched it just now. I just switched it just now. Going Cowboys. The reason why being that the Seahawks had such trouble with Cam and those boys. And you got Ezekiel Elliott and Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb and Mike Gallup and all them boys coming in. I think that they got Alden Smith. Go get Russ again. Alden, reintroduce yourself to Russ. So I'm gonna go Cowboys over Hawks.
I'm going Hawks. Dallas does play Seattle very, very tough every time. But Dallas has a couple of young guys, a couple of one undrafted rookie and a late round pick on their O-line starting. This is a good game for Seattle's D-line to finally show up. I don't know if you guys remember in an earlier podcast episode, I talked about LJ Collier, the defensive end that was drafted from, I believe it was TCU, I think.
Yeah.
And he got in on that last tackle that hit Cam Newton. He's finally starting to flash a little bit now that he's healthy. So this would be a good game for Seattle's D-line to step up. And they've been kind of keeping running backs in check. They kept Gurley relatively in check. Sony Michel and Burkhead, that whole monster over there, besides Cam, they kept them in check. So if they can keep Zeke in check and make it a Dak versus Russell game, I'm going to go with Russ.
They'll keep Zeke in check?
Huh?
Okay. Nothing. Go ahead, CT.
Hey, you never know.
I don't got time. I don't even want to go back and forth about it. That's what you said. Say it with your chest.
That's fine.
Go ahead, C.
I don't trust Seattle's defense, but I know Russell will keep them in the game. I don't know when he's going. I don't know when he's going to wear out. He's going to wear out eventually, and it could be as soon as this week. I do too, but I gotta respect his game.
I can't stand Sierra husband.
That's what I'm gonna call him from now on.
You gonna call him Russell Wilson? That's Sierra husband.
But you know what? I'm actually gonna take Big D this week. Ezekiel Elliott, you better give him the ball 25, 30 times, control that clock, keep Russell off the field, dominate that defense, and go from there.
I made it funny in my head, man. I'm sorry. I made it funny in my head. I'm gonna call Russell Wilson. Future son daddy.
Don't be disrespectful out here on the field level.
I apologize, but okay. So who you got, CT? I'm sorry. Hey, that was funny to me. If it wasn't funny to nobody else, that was hilarious to me. Go ahead.
Big D, Dallas, man.
Big D. Okay, Cowboy, Seahawk over there. Cowboy, Seahawk over there. Oh man, that was good. I appreciate myself. So let's go over. Let's go. Let's go. Lions, Cardinals. Let's go over Lions, Cardinals. Cards. The boys ain't losing no time soon. 3-0. Book it.
I'm gonna go Cardinals, but Cardinal fans, don't be surprised because this could be a classic trap game.
Trap
the
game.
Lions,
yeah.
The Lions know how to put up points now. They can't stop a nosebleed, but they could put up points. So this gonna be a whoever make a turnover might lose. So I'm gonna go Cards, but don't be surprised.
Nah, that's real. That's real. What you got, see?
Potential revenge game for Detroit, but they won't win it. I got AZ. Because wasn't that week 1 last year when they went in overtime?
Yeah,
Kyler got that. Yeah, so potential revenge game. I think it'll be a pretty competitive, tight game. But I got the Arizona Cardinals finishing that out.
Okay, Bucks, Broncos. T. Brady, got you, bruh. Lock it in. Bucks over Broncos. Cortland Sutton out. Drew Lock out. Yeah, man, I gotta take Buccaneers over. Although Jeff Driscoll came in and played a good game. When Drew Lock went down, Jeff Driscoll came in and actually played a really good game. So, but I'm gonna take Bucks. I'm gonna take the Bucks over the Broncos.
Whose D line to you was better, the Bucks or the Steelers? Quick question.
Steelers,
TJ Watt.
Okay, this could be another upset right here. Because Jeff Driscoll played so good, we all saw that he played good. This could be an upset. So I'm going to go Broncos here. I think Broncos get their first dub.
I like the way you're doing. I like the way you're spacing yourself out because now I can make my comeback on our prediction game. You feel what I'm saying?
We going to see. We going to see. Hey, right now I got the juice.
Hey,
I got the
I'm
juice
noting,
right now.
I'm noting it right now. You feel me? Like I've been noting week to week. So at the end of the year, I'm going to come out with them final records.
Okay, but right now
you know you will.
Thought I wasn't? Go ahead, see. Bucks, Broncos.
Got the Bucks. Tom Brady's starting to get into a little bit of a rhythm here. He's called out by his head coach, and he's responding. So I think that the Bucks will do their damage here. And shout out to Jeff Driscoll. That's a former 49er, by
the way. We are going to go over here to what my game of the week. Game of the week for me, Chiefs, Ravens. That the AFC West championship we all thought we should have had last year, but we gonna get it right now, man. Chiefs versus the Ravens. I am going to go. I'm gonna go with the Ravens. I'm gonna take the Ravens in this one. God, I'm gonna take the Ravens in this one. I think Chiefs been starting off kind of slow. Edwards-Helaire has to have a good day. I don't know, man. Marcus Peters. I got to say this. Marcus Peters last week picked off a ball that blew my entire mind. Like the way he dropped back and kind of contorted his body and jumped the route that I didn't even see him being able to physically be able to jump. Shout out to Marcus Peters. Hopefully he shows up and has a day. I got Baltimore over KC.
With them hands that Peters showed, man, the Falcons should have had him on the hands team.
Not even gonna go there.
I'm gonna go Chiefs though. I'm gonna go Chiefs. I'm not being fooled by the Ravens right now. My eyes will not deceive me. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs, and I think it's actually I think it might be a high scoring game.
Okay. CT.
In the words of Sugar Ray Lewis, forever Baltimore.
Forever Baltimore. All right, Quan, you on your own a couple times out here this week, man. I'm excited to see how this gonna go down. So those are your field level family. Those are your field level week 3 predictions. If you got any more predictions, put it in the chat. Put it on social media. Holler at us on Twitter at the Field Level 1. Holler us on IG at the Field Level. Let's get into what's on your mind. What's on your mind, Quan? Do you have any what's on your mind topics today?
Absolutely. We got one and one only coming from our Field Level family over on our Twitter. His name is at Bugatti2K3. at Bugatti2K3. Shout out to you. He
Shout out to
says
Gotti.
he is a part of the Raider Nation. I must point that out first. He says
Okay.
that what's on his mind. He says our defense needs to continue to pick it up. He's very shocked that we don't have a lot of penalties going on right now, which that used to be the Raiders like.
That was
That
the
used to be
MO.
right.
Yeah.
And he thinks that we can be a legit team if we keep improving on what we've been seeing these first 2 weeks. That's what's on his mind. And I will piggyback and say I agree with everything you said. Our defense does need to pick it up. We are very young in some key places on our defense. So I think
Right.
hopefully as they gel and get that experience, like CT mentioned earlier, they'll continue to thrive. We can be legit. I think people see that now. People see that we can be legit. We just have to continue to prove it. And the no penalties. Let me just knock on this wood table that I'm set up on right here, because we do not need to go backwards. The penalties, we do not need those. But you
Nah,
are
that's
right,
real.
man.
Shout out to my man Gotti for that little statement right there. I got to say, I finally got a favorite player on the Raiders.
Ooh,
Damon
who is it?
Arnett.
Oh yeah,
Damon
that's right,
Arnett.
that's right.
You know, that's my guy. I wanted him bad in the draft for the Niners, but shout out to Damon Arnett. He a boy. So shout out to that. I might get that 20. I might go get that 20. I ain't gonna lie to you. CT, I know that you have a what's on your mind. CT, you got something for us for what's on your mind?
Yeah, man. Big moves this week. You look at His Airness, Michael Jordan, purchasing a place in NASCAR. I think that's huge, for diversity of, inclusion and everything with that. So that's a big move. And shout out to Bubba Wallace. Is it Bubba Wallace?
Mm-hmm.
He'll be signing with Jordan and Denny Hamlin's team. So that's an awesome move. The big thing that kind of stuck with me is we got to call him Coach Prime. Deion Sanders taking the job with Jackson University, man. Jackson State?
Jackson State. In Jackson,
State.
Mississippi.
HBCU, standing up right now, dear to my heart. I had a scholarship to play at Texas Southern. It didn't work out, but, I'm definitely indebted to the HBCU community and all they do and all the good athletes that have come out of these schools. Texas Southern had Michael Strahan, and Jackson State's had some Hall of Famers as well. So, him going over there, adding some Hall of Fame coaches potentially. I don't know if that's been confirmed. The Warren Sapp report and the T.O. Terrell Owens report, being on the staff. I'm just excited for those young men to really grow, to learn, and make that a pipeline, that it needs to be. So really excited about that news.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
That's what's up. All right, y'all know what time it is, man. If y'all watch the field level, have you ever tuned in? Every once in a while, your man got something he got to get off his chest. And we call that the rant of the night. I got a rant. I got two of them, actually. Quan, you alluded to one of them, but I'm going to go with my first one. If nobody says my second one, I'm going to circle back around and I'm going to drop it on you. At the end of the day, this is my rant. Kyle Shanahan, Pete Carroll, and Vic Fangio all were fined hundreds of thousands of dollars for not wearing a mask on the sideline. COVID-19 is real, people. Put your mask on. The only thing I got to say about that situation is this. The NFL, for you to even be allowed in any NFL facility, on a team, at practice, on a bus, in a hotel, in the building, wherever you might be, you have to take a COVID-19 test.
Facts.
In order for you to be around, you have to have a negative test.
Another
right?
fact.
Why I got to wear my mask on the sideline?
Man.
Hey, and not only that, but why I got to get fined hundreds of thousands of dollars for not wearing one when you know that I know that we know that I don't got it?
Bruh, a mask costs $2 at Walgreens. You gonna find me 100 bands?
$250K.
Don't make no sense, bro. That's robbery.
You know I don't got COVID. Everybody over here, we don't got COVID. The referee, he don't got COVID. None of us got COVID. Why do I gotta wear a mask?
You know why? Because they're trying to make up for them lack of ticket sales.
That right.
Wow. Hey, I never thought about that because they are robbing these coaches out here, bro.
they hit those three organizations together combined got hit for 1.7 million for not wearing a mask.
That's crazy.
1.7 million. And you just tested me, and I don't got it.
Right.
That's like, never, I ain't gonna go down that road, but go ahead. I'm sorry. See, Quan ran on you, bro. Ran away.
My rant goes to the Broncos offensive line. Y'all, look, I don't never throw the word around trash because if you're in the NFL, you're in there for a reason. But as a collective, y'all suck right now. I don't get it. Here's a stat for you guys. Drew Lock got hurt in that game, right? Do you know in that game alone versus the Steelers, they gave up 7 sacks.
Jesus.
Now, only one of those sacks I'm gonna put on Jeff Driscoll because he should have threw the ball away. So I'll take one away. But 7 sacks in total, but they allowed 19 quarterback hits.
I'm not playing football for them. I'm not playing football for them.
How is Jeff Driscoll?
Nothing about me.
How is he gonna last?
He's
not. And then they just signed Blake Bortles. He's definitely not gonna last because he likes to run around. So
Blake used to getting hit in Jacksonville.
Oh, yeah. Well, so that's my rant. The offensive line for the Broncos, y'all suck right now. Y'all need to get it together. Y'all got to do some reshuffling or do something because if I'm a quarterback,
move the left guard to right guard,
man,
move the right tackle to left. Like y'all got to figure that out.
Man, if I get hit that much, I'm throwing the ball at one of your helmets. I'm pulling my water boy type deal. You know what I mean?
CT ran away, baby.
You know what? I'm very frustrated with I know it's not West Coast, but Cincinnati Bengals.
Why?
Take care of my man Joe Burrow. He costing him games, man. This dude is balling already. I heard Colin Cowherd, he referred to him as kind of like a young Tony Romo. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if that's a compliment either, to be real.
He's horrible.
A young Tony Romo. Tony was trash.
Look at his stats, though. Tony has some pretty decent
Tony
stats.
had good stats, but he didn't win.
No, that's a fact. But Joe Burrow has all the makeup of being a solid quarterback in this league. In the first 2 weeks, I've seen, a lot of poise, a lot of promise, definitely some mistakes, but he's put his team in positions to win, and they have failed him. I've seen A.J. Green drop passes that he shouldn't drop. You know what I mean? I've seen the field goal kicker miss the field goal to tie the game. Like, come on, help my guy out. Get him some wins, man. He deserves it.
That's a fact. And since nobody said it, I'm going to say this. The Atlanta Falcons hands team. What were you thinking? At all levels of football, from Pop Warner to the NFL, the kicking team cannot touch the ball before 10 yards. The receiving team can touch the ball whenever they choose after the ball has been kicked. I don't have to wait for the ball to go 10 yards for me to run up and get it. Why did y'all sit and watch the ball roll right in front of y'all for 3 yards before you decided, I'm going to jump on it?
I can't even – I don't know.
So the Atlanta Falcons special teams coach should be fired because he didn't tell them that they can touch the ball.
Bro, you know what? If they should all probably be benched because you shouldn't need your special team coach to tell you that. The rule hasn't changed as long as you've been playing ball.
So when I seen that, I said, "Oh yeah, y'all need to be put on somebody put them on a stake to dry or something, bro. That was terrible." So those are the field level rants. I want to say this, man. I'm feeling good in my body, feeling great. As y'all can see, I'm back downstairs. I'm sitting in the chair, man.
He's back, baby.
We're recovering off of that surgery. So look. If y'all on here right now, if you watching, go ahead on, go over, go down there, right there, hit the subscribe, hit the little notification ping, so that way you can always be in tune to everything that's happening on the field level. As that ticker rolls right down here, I want y'all to go ahead on, follow us on IG at the field level, follow us on Twitter at the field level 1, subscribe, notifications, go ahead on and hit that follow button. I want y'all to be a part of that field level family, just like how so many others are a part of. If you don't want to watch us on YouTube, catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Podcast. We on there now
Yes,
too.
sir.
Wherever you want to find us at, you're gonna find us. Just search the Field Level on your search bars. Hey, another show in the books. I apologize for our technical issues, but we live. That's what happens when you live. Stuff like that happens. But we appreciate all of y'all that came through. Everybody from Rob Thompson to Courtney Moore to everybody that came through and was with us on today. Appreciate Brandon Henderson for coming and being a guest with us on the Field Level today, just dropping that good old knowledge about everything. Any final words from my guys, CT or Quan?
Drink your green tea. Drink your green tea. Drink your water.
I finished my whole thing during the show. Shout out to that GTG. CT.
Just like Pat told me, man, make sure you spend some money on your headphones so they work.
Just
with technical difficulties, man, but we're gonna be nice next week, nice and clean. So
hey, just go drop a couple dollars. Just go drop a couple dollars right quick. Hey, Field Level family, we love y'all. It's the Field Level. Over and out.
Out.
Out.